This is how I test loaders and telehandlers. Now I've grouped these all, skid steer, front loader, telehandler, and a wheel loader, all in one video because basically speaking, they all do the same thing, just in slightly, well, from small to large, and they have different attachments, small to large. So I pretty much test them all the same. Pretty much, yeah. And so that's why we got them all here. So let's start with which ones we got here. So we got all the loaders, as in front loader, wheel loader, telehandler, and skid steer loader. I would go in there, as usual, go in, look through to see if there's any options like tires or accessories or anything like that, lighting, etc., etc. Same thing as I would in any other new mod. And then if it came with an accessory, like if it came with a bucket or some attachments, I would test them together. And then perhaps maybe take a base game attachment item, say a bucket or a fork, a bale fork, something like that, and see if those work together with it. Pretty basic stuff here. So what do how do I test? So some of these will come with a hitch. So for example, this front loader here came with a hitch. Now these are all base game. I don't have any modded equipment here. This is just to demonstrate my methods. So typically I have my two base game trailers, a trailer with a ball hitch, and as we can see there, no, it does not hook to a ball hitch. And then we will back it up to a pin hitch, and yes, so we do have a pin hitch. So then from there, we'll drive it around a bit, take it for a little drive, see how it accelerates. If it's most of them are CVT, if not all, and just see how it handles. Is it tippy? Does it respond well to steering inputs and such things like that? So if that all sorts out, and then of course I would get my help window on and take a look at what are the operations I can do with all these, and of course this L1N. So they all have like this. Of course the telehandler would have, let's hop in, telehandler, we'll start that up. We'll have the option to extend R1, right stick, extend out. And so in the case of the telehandler, I would see how far out it goes, how far up it reaches. This is actually, the Kloss is if not one of the, has the longest reach of all the telehandlers. It is actually my favorite one that I use if I have a telehandler, if I get accessories, telehandler accessories and so forth. So what next after that? So the next step from that is, well, we either put a bucket or like a here. Well, for instance, let's say this. I have this little Farson with a fork on the front, and I would put some bales on it. See how it handles the weight. Is it like very tippy? Is the counterbalance good on it? Will it be able to handle lifting a couple of bales up to the highest spot like that? So those are things I would look for, and of course would do the same with the bucket. And usually I would go for rocks first because that's the heaviest, and that kind of really tests out the capabilities of a vehicle. Now in this case, no problem at all. These are all base game buckets for particular vehicle, a wheel loader bucket, 3,508 liters. So of course, having it that high in the air, you're going to have a lot of weight at a very high, so it's going to put your center of gravity pretty high up there, make it just a bit tippy, which is normal. Of course, if it's down lower, it's not as scary. So, and then of course, see how it reacts, empties out, all those kinds of things. Now, depending on the size of the wheel loader or the size of the telehandler, there are some small wheel loaders, small telehandlers, and things like that. And they might not all be able to, or be designed to handle a bucket full of rocks. As I dare say, this one is likely going to handle a bucket full of rocks that well, although, well, it does anyways. So 1,000 liters of rocks, no problem for this guy either. Now, if I do see that there is a little bit of a issue with being too heavy, I'll move over to something that you would probably use it for in the game typically, and be like a load of manure, such as this. And then the next thing I would test is I would have a trailer close by that would be appropriately sized for whichever implement I am testing, and just see if the reach is good, if it dumps into trailers nicely, and things like that. So of course, top speed is something that you know, drive around, see how fast it goes. And every vehicle is different, and even every well, literally every vehicle could be different. I could get 5 of front loaders, and they'd all be somewhat different in one way or another. And that's pretty much the long and short. Well, the short of it, because they're pretty basic vehicles, and really meant to do exactly this: carry bales, carry product in their buckets. If you take a look at their accessories, like front loader tools, they're buckets and forks, basically things to carry either pallets, big bags, bulk material, or bales of in one way or another. So all meant to load stuff in the front, transport them to another area, and dump them or load them into something. And that's about it. So if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, and remember, it's only a game. So till the next one, bye for now.